The Proverbs has a lot to say about choosing friends. God created us to live in good, healthy relationships. In fact, there's not much better in life than relationships. You know, when you're young, we have a tendency to think that happiness and joy and contentment and peace in life is going to come from stuff and money and pursuit of wealth and pursuit of job. And all of those things has its role. But you know what gives you real joy and peace in life is good relationships, good marriage, good relationship with your kids, and certainly good friendships. It's interesting. I wrote it this way: if life is a canvas, good friends help paint the picture. Friends give us joy, they give us texture in life, they give us meaning and purpose. And the older you get, the more you appreciate your friends, those friends that really love you and care about you. And that's what we want to talk about today is how do we develop those friendships? Listen to a few Proverbs on friendship. 27:17 is iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. Proverbs 18:24, there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Proverbs 17:17, a friend loves at all times. Proverbs 27:9, the pleasantness of one's friend springs from his earnest counsel. So these friends are people that love us unconditionally. They love us no matter what. They're willing to give us good counsel, even sometimes hurting our feelings. They will tell us the truth. They stick by us through thick and thin. They don't turn their back on us, and they have our backs. Those are the kind of friends we're talking about. 13:20, Proverbs 13:20 says this, he who walks with the wise grows wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm. I want you to understand up front here that one of the most important decisions you will ever make in your life is the friends that you choose. It's one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. Why? Because, as Paul says in 1 Corinthians 15:33, do not be deceived. Do not be deceived. Bad companions corrupt good character. And so we're going to become like our friends. Now, it's interesting to me in this 13:20, he who walks with the wise. And so we're not talking about casual acquaintances. I'm not talking about the buddies I meet every once in a while to play golf. I'm certainly not talking about God's desire for us to make friends and acquaintances with worldly people to lead them to the Lord. Of course, we're going to have those kinds of relationships with people that we're trying to influence for good, that we're trying to bring to Christ, that we're trying to influence in this world for God's glory and for His good. But I'm talking about the close friends. I'm talking about those 3 or 4 people that you're going to walk through life with. That's the key, walk through life with. How do you choose them? And who are they supposed to be? They're supposed to be people who have great character, who know the truth, who walk with the Lord, who are willing to tell you the truth even when it hurts. Those kind of friends are the kind of friends that we want in life. And it's fascinating to me how we will spend so much time choosing just the right doctor or just the right dentist or just the right mechanic for our car. And yet we're not proactive when it comes to who our best friends are. I'll talk to guys all the time. How did you choose your friends? And they'll go, well, I don't know. I just met them and we became friends. I think we need to be very proactive and being very careful, be very selective at our best friends. Not our acquaintances, but our best friends. We need to be very proactive in choosing people that are like God to be our closest friends. We need to back up on that?
Yeah, I'll back up. Go ahead, back up.
Okay. I don't know exactly where I was, but you can kind of splice something together. I'll go back to, I'll go. It's interesting to me that when we go through life, we will be so careful about what doctor we choose, what dentist we choose, what mechanic we choose for our car, and yet we're not that picky when we choose our friends. I'll talk to guys all the time. You know, how did you meet your friends? What process did you go through to select your closest friends that walk through life with you that are going to help determine your future? And they'll go, well, I don't know. They didn't have a plan. It just kind of happened by accident. I believe that God wants us to, and Proverbs teaches us that we need to be selective, that we need to be careful, that we need to be wise in choosing our friends. Primarily, though, we need to be proactive about it. We don't need to let it happen to us. We go out and make it happen. That's with our closest friends. So now we're going to jump in, and just for a few minutes here, I'm going to give you 5 things the Proverbs says about choosing friends, 5 character traits. Unfortunately, the Proverbs is pretty negative. It says, don't be friends with this kind of person. We're going to talk about that, but I'm going to try to turn it around and make it positive so it's a little more positive impact as we think about our friends. The first one is choose friends who can control their anger. Listen to Proverbs 22, 24, and 25. Do not befriend angry people or associate with hot-tempered people, or you will learn to be like them and endanger your soul. Remember what we just talked about? Why do you need to be careful in choosing your best friends? Because you're going to become like them. So one of the first things the Proverb says is, don't choose angry friends. Well, why? Because they're going to get you in trouble. You're going to end up like them. I talk to guys all the time. That's what I do for a living. And guys will tell me stories about becoming friends with hot-tempered people and the kind of situations they end up in. One, they may end up becoming more angry and hot-tempered themselves, but they end up in very uncomfortable situations where their friends are verbally accosting other people, trying to pick fights. People are trying to pick fights with them, and they find themselves in some very, very difficult positions trying to navigate themselves around. I had a friend that was good friends with a guy that had a pretty violent temper, and they liked to go to the bar a lot. And about every 3rd or 4th time they went to the bar, they'd end up getting in a fight because this guy liked to pick fights. And so it was so interesting because he said, finally, I just had to quit going to the bar with this guy. I had to distance myself. Why? Well, you don't want to be friends with a guy that can't control his anger because he's going to get you in some really tough spots. So that's number 1. Number 2, choose friends who will tell you the truth. Proverbs 21:28, a false witness will be cut off, but a credible witness will be allowed to speak. 24:26, an honest answer is like a kiss of friendship. These 2 verses really cover the whole idea of choosing friends who tell the truth. On one hand, a friend who will tell you the truth is like a kiss on the lips, and this is so true. You know, Proverbs 27:6 says, the wounds from a friend can be trusted. I need to choose friends in my life that know God, that know me, that love me unconditionally, and are brave enough to tell me the truth even when I don't want to hear it. Now, why do we need friends that way? I'll tell you why. Because we have this unbelievable capacity to lie to ourselves and deceive ourselves. We can rationalize anything. We can justify anything. We get an idea in our brain and we can talk ourselves into believing that anything is okay. I need that friend that loves me enough that when I begin to rationalize, when I'm lying to myself, when I'm deceiving myself, he can grab me and say, no, Brad, you're not thinking straight. Here's what the Word says. Here's the heart of God. You're rationalizing this situation. Don't walk into that situation. You know, I just need that guy. I need that guy in my life. That's the kind of friends I want to surround myself with. So many times we want to live life the way we want to live life. So you know what we do? We find friends that are yes men. They'll flatter us. They'll tell us whatever we want to hear. They're not true friends. They're not true friends. And let me tell you about those friends. When your life goes south, they scatter. You want to know who your true friends are? Go through a hard time and see who sticks with you. That's your friend. And let me tell you something. Those are the guys that will hold you accountable. They'll bring you back to God. They will do whatever it takes to tell you the truth to keep you out of trouble. That's the kind of friends you want. They tell you the truth. The other side of that is, whoever listens to a liar will be destroyed forever. That was that first verse I read. So important. Whoever listens to a liar will be destroyed forever. You just don't want to be friends with a liar. Liars destroy trust. Liars, they're impossible to be friends with because you don't know when you can rely on them. You don't know when you can trust. And there's this situation in friendships and all relationships really where the foundation of any good relationship is trust. And liars destroy trust. And so you're just not going to be friends long term with a liar, because he's going to lie to you or she's going to lie to you enough that finally you can't trust anything they do. You're not going to share your heart with them. You're not going to share your secrets with them, because they might go and they might tell someone else the secrets. You're just not going to share your heart with them. And with that, then the friendship kind of goes away. They might still be an acquaintance. You might still play golf with them every once in a while or go to lunch with them, but they're not going to be a true friend. You can't be friends with a liar. And so the proverb writer just says, listen, make friends with people who will tell you the truth, but not only tell you the truth, they'll tell you the truth about you. They will actually tell you the truth about you. That is a real friend. And that's who we need to choose in our friendships. Number 3, we need to choose friends who have gracious speech. Gracious speech. 16:28. A troublemaker plants seeds of strife, but gossip separates the best of friends. I want to read that again. Gossip separates the best of friends. I do not want to be friends with a gossip, with someone that has a big mouth. Listen to chapter 20, verse 19. A gossip goes around telling secrets, so don't hang around with chatterers. What's the proverb saying? Be wise. Don't hang out with gossips. They won't keep your secrets. They'll gossip about you. They'll gossip about other people. Here's what I've learned. When I hang around with somebody who likes to talk bad about other people to me, you know what I know? They're talking bad about me to other people. You just don't want to be friends with those people, and you certainly don't want to get caught up in the gossip. You know, if you wanted to spread a rumor about somebody, you know those people that you could go say something to them and they'd spread it everywhere, right? You know who those people are, but I bet you're not friends with those people. You don't want to be friends with those people, because they will absolutely tear your world upside down. 22:11, whoever loves a pure heart and gracious speech will have the king as a friend. Remember what it said earlier about gossip will destroy the best of friends? But a pure heart and gracious speech will have the king as a friend. Jesus said something very interesting in Matthew chapter 12, verse 34. He says, out of your heart, your mouth speaks. So our speech is a barometer of our heart. We're going to talk about this in a few weeks, by the way. So it's interesting to me, when I think about gossips, I ask myself the question, what kind of heart do they have? What's the heart of a gossip? Well, jealousy, envy, insecurity, pride. The heart of gossip is, I don't feel good about me and I'm jealous of you, so I want to tear you down so I look better. That's kind of the heart behind that. That's the heart of a gossip. Is that the heart of a person I want to be my best friend? Absolutely not. I do not want my closest friends to be gossips and slanderers and people that can't keep a confidence. You realize what not keeping a confidence does to a friendship? It tears it apart. How can I be friends with someone who's going to blab everything I say to them? How can I be friends to someone that's gossiping and backbiting about people? That's just not who I want to be with. That's not who I want to be around, and that's certainly not who I want to be. So be very careful in choosing your friends, your closest friends, that you have somebody that has gracious speech. Number 4, choose friends who are sober. I want to read something to you that really cracks me up. Chapter 20 of the Proverbs, verse 1, wine produces mockers, alcohol leads to brawls. Those led astray by drink cannot be wise. You cannot be wise and be a drunk, okay? But listen to this, chapter 23. I don't even know if you knew this was in the Bible or not, but I'm going to read this to you. It's a little longer. Who has anguish? Who has sorrow? Who is always fighting? Who is always complaining? Who has unnecessary bruises? Who has bloodshot eyes? It is the one who spends long hours in the taverns, trying out new drinks. Don't gaze at the wine, seeing how red it is, how it sparkles in the cup, how smoothly it goes down. For in the end it bites like a poisonous snake, and it stings like a viper. You will see hallucinations, and you will say crazy things. You will stagger like a sailor tossed at sea, clinging to a swaying mast. And you will say, they hit me, but I didn't feel it. I didn't even know it when they beat me up. When will I wake up so I can look for another drink? Wow. You just don't want to be friends with an alcoholic or a drug abuser. They'll lie to you, they'll use you, they'll steal from you. If you hang out with an alcoholic or someone who drinks a lot, you end up in the bars. They get drunk, they'll say things they don't mean. They will hurt people with their words. They don't have a good control of their temper. They'll end up in bar fights. They don't have good control of their sex drive. You will end up in places and them asking you to do things to cover for them, to lie for them. You do not want your closest friends to be alcoholics or to have a lot of alcohol. You just don't want that. Nothing wrong with going out and having a glass of wine every once in a while. You know that as well as I do. But that constant drinker, you just don't want that to be your best friend. Remember what 21 said, 20 verse 1 said. You cannot be wise. You cannot be wise when you're drinking alcohol. So that's not who you want for your best friend. And finally, choose friends who desire goodness. Listen to these words. These are very powerful words. 21:7 through 10. The violence of the wicked sweeps them away because they refuse to do what is just. The guilty walk a crooked path. The innocent travel a straight road. It is better to live alone in the corner of an attic than with a quarrelsome wife in a lovely home. Evil people desire evil. Their neighbors get no mercy from them. And then 24:1 and 2. Don't envy evil people or desire their company, for their hearts plot violence and their words always stir up trouble. In Proverbs, there's this person called the evil man or the wicked man. And this is how it's defined. It's someone who has a defiant attitude, a rebellious spirit, and enjoys immorality. He is mean-spirited, hard-hearted, unkind, and worldly. And here's the thing you have to understand about these friends. They're fair-weather friends. When things get tough, they will stab you in the back. They will have no mercy on you. They will cast you aside for the next friend. And that right there, that's just not friendship. So you want to choose friends that desire goodness. This is where Christianity is so important. I want my best friends to be Christians. I want my best friends to love Jesus. I want my best friends to want to know Christ better. I want my best friends to want me to know Christ better. And that's where I can get wisdom. They will tell me the truth. They'll hold me accountable. They'll love me no matter what. They'll never stab me in the back. They'll never gossip about me. They won't put me in tight situations. They won't ask me to lie for them. Those are the kind of people I want. They will always be pushing me to be a better man, to be more like Christ. And Proverbs says that's who you're looking for in your best friends to walk through life. I've been so blessed in my life. I have some great friends. I have some friends that have been friends for many, many years. Men that love God, men that love me, men that will tell me the truth. And I am a better man today. I'm a better man today because of the friends I have in my life. I hope you can say the same thing. And if you can't, here's the one thing I want you to take away from today. Would you be more proactive in choosing your friends? Think about it. Look at people. Try them out. Interview them. Don't jump in a friendship too quickly. Move in slowly to close friends. And what you'll find is God's going to provide you with friends that will give you so much joy and so much peace in this life. The best things I have in my life are my family and my friends. They really bring texture and flavor and color to my life and to the life of the people I love. I hope you can find that as well. Let's pray. Father, thank you for this teaching on friends. Lord, what a blessing you've given us in life to have friends in our lives that love us and love you and want the best for us. And Lord, I pray that I will become that friend. And Lord, I pray that whoever's watching this today, that they will become that friend and they will meet that friend. in Jesus' name. Amen. As you take in the words of this study today, I just want to remind you one thing. You attract who you are. And so you figure out what kind of friends you want, and then you become that person. And as you become that kind of friend, you will attract that kind of friend. And so take this to heart and become the person you want to attract to have friends in your life. God bless you. Hope you have a great day.